John Strange from Aspray Glasgow West, good to have you on board. Great to see you. So, John, for those not aware of your company or what you do and provide, tell us about Aspray Glasgow West and your services.
Okay, hello Craig, first and foremost. So Aspray Glasgow West, what do? We help people make successful buildings insurance claims. So let me delve into that a little bit further. So if your property, whether that be the home you live in, a rental property, or your business property, an office building, for example, if you have to make a claim on your insurance for damage to that property from fire, water, impact, criminal damage, anything like that, anything that you need to make a claim on, we can deal with that for you. We take care of the entire process from start to finish. We attempt to take all the stress and hassle away from making an insurance claim. Those people that have made claims before in the past, I would probably guarantee 9 out of 10 people will have said it was a nightmare, because it is a nightmare. There's a lot of paperwork, a lot of red tape, a lot of estimates and scopes and things that you have to put together. We take care of all that for you, so you can kind of get on with your life as best as you can, even though it's potentially one of the worst days of your life because your boiler's bursting or your ceilings are lying on the floor. We're there to just calm you down, take you by the hand, walk you through the whole thing and look after you. So that's pretty much it. We help people. We're in the business of helping people, and that's it.
Now, we all know insurance can be a headache, can be a bit of a minefield sometimes as well. And some of the videos that you've posted, the damage in some of these properties is quite breathtaking sometimes. Can you think of the worst one you've ever seen at first hand?
Well, they're all worse, if you like, because at the end of the day, it's not something somebody wants to be in. It's not a position people want to be in. Yeah. But I would probably say one of the worst incidences was, we got a phone call from one of the letting agents who regularly sort of refer work to us, and their tenants, mum and dad, had left the house in the morning with their 2 kids, walked them to school, and by the time they got back from dropping the kids off at school, there was 2 fire engines outside and the entire house had gone up in flames. Turns out there was an electrical fault at the cooker, but that was everything. Everything was gone. Everything was decimated. All the contents, the whole lot, were burnt to a crisp. Now, luckily, because we're good at what we do, we were there within an hour. We'd managed to rehouse the tenants in alternative accommodation, pending the insurance company getting their finger out and actually approving the claim. We had the loss adjuster on site within a day or two, surveyor on board, claim was agreed by the end of that week, and 2.5, nearly 3 months later, the family were able to move back in, albeit all their belongings were trashed. But that was one of the worst experiences, because you're standing in the street with a mum and dad whose 2 kids are at school and they have nowhere to live. So luckily, because of our contacts and what we do, we took care of all that for them. That's probably one of the worst. Another one, which was quite a horrific one, was another fire claim. They tend to be the worst. It happened at Christmas time, and the Christmas tree had actually melted itself onto the wall. It was that bad. And again, that young lady who lived in that property had lost everything. So yes, it's my business, and I care about what I do, but you've got to remember there's people behind all of this. It's a building damage. Yes, construction, property damage, etc. That's what we do. But at the core of what we believe in is looking after the person or the family behind all of that. Because if anyone that's watching this has had an insurance claim in the past, big or small, it's not particularly easy, and it's not a great time in your life, to be honest with you. Yeah. So we're very conscious of that, and we have to remember that, we're going home to our fully functioning house that night. They aren't. So you've got to bear that in mind and be sympathetic towards that. So,
and I know you guys, you're big on positive reviews, because it reflects very well on your company. It reflects on the high standard of service that you provide and the customer care you've got as well. So when it comes to insurance and getting the best for policy holders, these reviews are so important. Tell us why.
Why? Probably like I sort of alluded to there, it's from the person. It's the people. it's the homeowner who has left that review. So without going over old ground again there, it's a building's damage claim that we deal with. But the most important part of that entire process is the person that it's happened to. So I think if you look at some of the review, or most of the reviews, they all tend to have a similar theme running on it, which is that we looked after them. Very rarely do the people that leave reviews talk about what a wonderful job we did to their building. It's more about what a wonderful job we did looking after them. And that's priceless for us. That's why we get up in the morning. That's why we come in. That's why we work long hours. That's why we stay on the phone hour after hour after hour, trying to push things through and trying to get things done for people, is so that we can allow that person, that human being, to feel a little bit better about the disaster that's happened to them. So the reviews are vitally important, because most of our work, as you'll probably know, Craig, comes from word of mouth. You know, we do very little. We do obviously sponsorship, but we do very little advertising. It's a very difficult business to advertise. We're not selling tires. You know, we're not selling milk. You know, we can't put a big advert out there and sell a product to someone. We're saying to people, when the worst happens to you, please remember us. So it's a tricky business to sell. But reviews are hugely important because they come from the heart generally. And if it's at the worst possible time in your maybe not the worst possible time in your life, but when it's a tough time in your life because your property's damaged, if you can think enough to leave us a nice review about what we've done for you, then that means a lot to us. It really does.
Yeah. So I think it's fair to say it's a very serious business, of course, what you do, but there's got to be a lighter side to it. So can you think of a time or an instance where you've been called out and maybe things haven't been quite what they seem?
Yeah, there's probably a few. It's not a light-hearted industry that we're in. Damage restoration, it's not light-hearted because, like I keep saying, people are like, oh my goodness, my entire building's decimated. But we do have the odd occasion where something's not quite as it seems. I'll give you a prime example. Christmas Eve last year, we get a phone call from one of our introducers, an insurance broker who refers work to us to help their clients. So we get the phone call in a panic. Oh, there's been a storm in Berwick upon Tweed, and one of my clients says that their commercial premises, the flat above it, it's been trashed. It's a disaster. It's Christmas Eve. Can you go and help? Okay, right. So myself and Nikki decide, right, let's drive down to Berwick upon Tweed on Christmas Eve to see this massive disaster. And we get there, we go up the stairs, and the storm has blown a window open, and that was it. So we closed the window, fixed the latch on it, and explained to the person that there was no need to panic because the window was now closed. But that was the overreaction of, oh my goodness, there's a storm and my windows have blown and the place is trashed. They were worried about what might happen rather than what had actually happened. But we had just jumped in the car and just drove straight down to help. So we had to see the lighter side of that, given it was Christmas Eve and we'd driven for 3 hours to Berwick upon Tweed and then all the way back up again. There's probably a number of occasions where we try and see the light-hearted side of things, especially if someone's upset. You know, we use the phrase, you know, you could be knee deep in water walking around somebody's property and you're looking at it and you're thinking, well, it's not as bad as the one I was at yesterday. So you try and tell them that and you go, it's not as bad as some of the ones I've seen. So we try and make it a little bit more light-hearted for them. But
well, the good news is you're back with the Clan as a title sponsor, a third season now. So tell us about how the association with the club began and how it's grown since you got together.
Yeah, so we had been looking for some sponsorship opportunities a few years ago, and the hockey was suggested to me. Now, I hadn't actually been to a hockey game other than once, I think, a long time ago in Madison Square Gardens. I hadn't been to hockey. So I took my wife and my 2 children along to 2 sporting events, one on a Friday night and one on a Saturday night. And I said to the 3 of them, right, if I'm going to put a little bit of money into one of these sports, which one should it be? and the hockey won 4 votes to 0. So I got involved at that point in time as a player sponsor, and I think I had a dasher board. So that was, I think, 2019 season. We sponsored Rasmus Bjerrum, I think it was.
Yeah.
So it was purely, I was just looking to get an opportunity to sponsor a local community. I'd already had a connection with St Mirren Football Club, and I was trying to get away from football. Not away from football, but looking for something other than football. I'd stumbled across the hockey, if I'm honest with you. But first night, as you'll know, and as everybody watching this will know, the first night I was literally blown off my seat. Just how amazing. I had no idea what was happening, no idea what was going on or any of the rules at all whatsoever. But I left. I think they got beat 5-2 that night, and I loved it. And I was like, wait a minute, you leave a sport that you've just been beaten and you loved it? No. And then I fell in love. As you know, I absolutely fell in love, and I'm obsessed with the clan now, as you quite rightly know.
Yeah.
The journey since then has been a great one. Jerry, who everyone knows, I just think is an absolute diamond. The care he's got for the club and the passion that he has to progress the club to the next level and the next level and the next level his passion's infectious, and that rubs off. All the sponsors will tell you that. We're all there for the clan, but it's Jerry that makes it happen for us, along with yourself and Gareth and Big Red and Malcolm and everyone else behind the scenes. Ross and Craig and all the team, they're all brilliant, but Jerry's the sort of linchpin from a sponsor's perspective.
Yeah.
He's the one that puts it all together for us and makes the magic happen.
So I'll throw a curveball at you a little bit here, John. So from the players you've met, and I know you've met quite a few of them now, which of them would do well with Aspray as assessors?
All of them. I tell you why. To be a hockey player, you have to be passionate about what you do. And to be an assessor, you have to be passionate about what you do. Nobody that works for me or with me is not passionate about what we do. We care. We care so much about the people that we're helping. It doesn't always go according to plan. Things don't always go well. Sometimes things go wrong, but we care about the people that we're helping. And I think hockey players care about, they're athletes, aren't they? They're sportsmen, athletes. They care about what they do. So I think if they were to take that same mindset into being an assessor, then yeah. If I was to name one or two of them, I would probably go, first and foremost, I have to mention him, Rasmus Bjerrum, because he was the first player we sponsored. He's got a little bit of construction industry knowledge, believe it or not. So he would be helpful in that front. And then I'm going to pick a player from last season who I met a number of times and who was an absolute gentleman, and that was Dyson Stevenson, who cared so much about everybody that he met, whether you were a fan, a sponsor, another player, anyone in the street really. He had such a lovely manner about him, and he was very, very respectful and quite calm. Even though you saw him on the ice, occasionally he would lose his rag a wee bit. In real life, he was a very calm and collected individual, and he very polite and charming and caring. And that's what you need in our game. But we're dealing with disaster. You have to be calm and caring. And so I would go Rasmus for that, and Dyson, but any of them.
Good choices. So, do you have a favourite moment from your memories of watching the club? Is there something that sticks out from seeing the team on the ice that you would regard as a favourite?
God, I've had so many.
Never said this is painless, John.
No, I've had so many amazing moments. Watching the clan. Those that know me, I like to have fun. I like to be out, I like to meet people, and I like to have fun. Life's for enjoying yourself, and I love being at the clan. But occasionally I have got a little bit too overexcited and become a little bit too vocal because of where we sit behind the dugout, behind the benches rather. Yeah. You can kind of hear quite a lot of what's going on, and that's my team. That's my team. The Clan are my team. So if one of the opposing players is giving one of our players a little bit of that, I did on one occasion shout down a few choice words to one of the players, and everyone that was with me was like, "That's not very professional, John." So if a club and a sport can make me lose my composure like that, that just goes to show how much I care about it. So that's one memorable moment. That was from last season, believe it or not.
Right.
Other memorable moments would probably be the first time I came along, when, like I mentioned, when we got beat. Just the lights, the music, the sound, Kev's dulcet tones, just the whole thing. It just blew my mind. I hate to bring this up, but being 2 minutes away from making the playoffs this year was a really big moment, a bad moment, obviously, in the end. But watching it and being there, I can't think. There's so many. Honestly, there's so many. When we play well, and we take one of the big four, if you like. We when we teach them a lesson, if you like, and we play them off the ice. That's brilliant. See just the buzz around the arena when we're actively just playing one of the so-called top four off the ice. Yeah. It's brilliant. You know yourself, the atmosphere is just electric. So every time we win is a great feeling, and scoring plenty of goals and the odd wee scuffle, shall we say, at the centre of the ice is always nice to see. I do like that. Not that I'm advocating violence in any way, shape, or form, but it gets us going. And seeing the mate, see, if I'm honest with you, seeing my family, my kids, my brother, sister, parents, etc., aunts and uncles, seeing them actively fall in love with a sport that I'm involved in as a business as well, it's such an amazing feeling. It really is. So
there you go. So new season's just about upon us. Malcolm's been busy getting his team ready. What have you made of the players that Malcolm's coming in? A lot of excitement around them.
100%, yes. I'm only a few years into the hockey, so a lot of the players that some of the fans who've been around for the last decade will know I'm not familiar with as such. But I've done my research and I've looked them up online and watched YouTube videos and whatnot. I think he's nailed it this season. There's a fantastic mix of young and old, experienced, not so experienced, journeyman, fresh. And there's quite a few tasty. You know how there's the concept of you need the enforcer.
Yeah.
I think maybe bar one or two, we have a team full of enforcers this year. So I think he's done a fantastic job, and the proof we'll just need to wait and see, won't we?
Yeah. Let me take you back to was it June? I was sitting on this very computer on a rainy day in Ayrshire. You were on a boat somewhere off the coast of Florida with Malcolm Cameron. What was it like seeing Super Signing Sunday unfold from that backdrop?
That was one of the most surreal experiences of my life thus far. So Malcolm and I had been chatting for a while, and I told him I was off to Florida, hopefully with the family in the summer. So he said, "Pop down and see me. I'll take you out on my mate's boat. You don't have to ask me twice for something like that." So we drove down. I think it's about 2.5-3 hours drive from where we were staying. So we drove down, met Malcolm, Brett and Logan, the kids, and Heather. He's his amazing wife. Shout out to Malcolm's wife. What a legend. And then we met Captain Bob, and off we went on his boat into the Florida ocean, shall we say. And yeah, phenomenal experience, great day. And then of course it's Super Sunday, so Malcolm says we have to do a video. Now at this point we're in the water. Now I think it's safe to say, and I'm sure Malcolm's okay with me saying this, Malcolm and I are not exactly slim laddies, So the concept of doing a video in the water with Malcolm and I with no top on, I vetoed that and said, we're getting back on the boat and we're putting our T-shirts on, because the Clan fans do not want to see me and Malcolm shirtless. Well, maybe they do, but I certainly wasn't willing to agree to that. So we did that, and obviously Captain Bob, who I hope is going to come over and spend some time with us. It was great experience. Malcolm, as you all know, is a character and a straight talker, and he is a hockey maniac. So it's just constant. His knowledge, his depth of, his wealth of experience, the people he knows. I mean, he was on the phone constantly, talking to people that aren't even part of our squad this season, but he keeps in touch with them. That's what makes him sort of a level above a lot of other coaches that are out there.
And I can't let you go without asking, what was Captain Bob really like?
Captain Bob is a retired marine biologist. So when I Googled what that was, I was able to talk to him about some of it. He is a lovely man, is probably the only way I could put it. They looked after us the whole day. They took us out for lunch. We then went for ice cream afterwards. We were out in his boat. We were in his pool. He didn't have to do that. Yes, he's Malcolm's friend, but he didn't have to look after us the way him and his wife Melissa. Another shout out to his wife Melissa down at Bonita Beach in Florida. He was a gentleman. He's what's the right phrase? He's a statistician. A statistician. That's a statistician. That's the word. Yeah. So that's what he does in Florida for hockey. So he's one of the stats guys. So him and Malcolm together chatting about stuff. It was like another language, listening to the two of them talking about certain players and certain stats and how people play and certain plays and stuff like that. And it was a hockey education whilst floating in the sea with him. Lovely guy. And hopefully the fans will get to welcome him onto the ice at some point this season if he makes it over.
Yeah, let's hope we do meet him. We do get to see him this year. Mm-hmm. So, John, we've got to know a bit about the business, about what you guys do, your involvement with hockey and things like that. So all we need, if the worst happens, how do we contact you at Aspray Glasgow West? What do we need to do? So
the easiest thing would be social media. So you can get me on LinkedIn. So just go onto LinkedIn and just look for John Strange. You'll see this, a slightly slimmer picture I've got on it, I have to say. Connect with me on LinkedIn. But if you follow Asprey Glasgow West on Facebook, Twitter or Instagram, that's probably the best bet. It means you can keep an eye on the kind of stuff that we do, but it also means you can message us directly as well. So Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. If you go into the Clan socials as well, you should be able to find us on that, and yeah, give us a like and a follow on our social media, or come up and chat to us at the game. You'll see us kicking about, myself and the team, Nikki, Way, Leslie, Ian, Jennifer. You'll see us all kicking about at the game. I try personally to get to every single game, but it's not always possible, but someone from the team will always be there. Throughout the season, we're probably going to, I need to confirm all this with Jerry, but we're hoping to do a few little events during the season where we will be there, maybe giving out some free gifts and stuff, some free Clan, Aspray, Glasgow West Clan gifts, if you like, at some point. Not sorted that yet, so don't know what they're going to be, but keep an eye out for us at the game. Come up and say hello. And if anybody needs any help with anything, look, Craig, like I said at the start, we're in the business of helping people. If it turns out to be something we can do, we'll do it. If it turns out that it's just advice, we're very, very, very experienced in property and damage restoration. So come and ask us a question. If you need help with anything property related at all whatsoever, look, we're in the business of helping people. So just ask the question. All right. John, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on Clat Chat today. We've learned a lot, certainly. We've had a few laughs along the way as well. We look forward to seeing you in Braehead Arena this season. Thanks again. Can't wait. All the best. Take care, everyone.